episode of Formula Pod. So today we're talking all about the Qatar Grand Prix. We are coming to the penultimate race. As in, not even we didn't come as in we just got done with the penultimate race. And what was that? Like you could still see Red Bull seriously on the strategy part being at the absolute best, whereas McLaren is basically figuring out what they're doing. Like, are we seeing like a new Ferrari coming out of here or whatnot? God knows. But like, yeah, joining me back again is the depressed Ferrari fan, Nathan. Hello, Nathan.
Why I think this tag is going to be pretty much fixed from now on. I don't think my depression can be ever fixed. But we are not here to talk about Ferrari, right? We are here to
No,
talk about
absolutely. In fact, in
the
fact, in
Qatar Grand
fact, you
Prix.
know, it's basically after the U.S. Grand Prix, we had Mexico and Brazil and Las Vegas. All three of them, we didn't do an episode just because we're like, one, we were busy with our own lives, of course, and another thing was just that Ferrari wasn't doing any good in any of these races, to be very honest. So,
Honestly, I'm glad. I mean, I really didn't get time to watch the races.
yeah,
Um, and luckily enough, or unfortunately enough, I don't know. I don't know how to take it. I'm going to take it as luck. Ferrari didn't do anything. So I'm glad I didn't take the time out of my life to watch Ferrari, fail. I've just
even
seen things on
you know,
Instagram.
and in between, even John Elkin ended up going up saying, "Well, you got to stop talking less and start showing it on track."
Yeah, I
And
saw
we were
that.
like, and we were just like, bro.
I saw that. That was hilarious.
Honestly, he has to fire his entire strategy team and poach strategy to people from like different teams, and just get them here.
You know what, Arjun? Let's not talk about Ferrari.
Let's not
let's
let's not talk
let's
about
not.
Ferrari. In fact, let's basically go down, actually declutter, I would say, the Qatar Grand Prix at the Lusail International Circuit. A very flowy track, to be very honest. But then that sprint was quite a good one for Oscar Piastri. He managed to get pole. He won the race, which is pretty brilliant, to be very honest. And even on the race day, also he did manage to get pole. But then, unfortunately, things took a wild turn. Even though he was leading, thanks to safety cars and thanks to pretty much Hannah Schmitz pulling off the trigger and the entire grid pitting, but McLaren didn't. So it was basically a classic give it to Verstappen in a silver platter sort of a moment for them, to be very honest.
Yeah, I mean, it really was the Grand Prix that Lando Norris could have kind of, silenced everyone at least,
Yeah.
and done his best ever weekend and like seal it. I feel
Yeah, yeah.
like this was probably his best moment to showcase to everyone that he is the best driver in Formula One at the moment. And regardless of the car underneath him and whatever, um, the mental aspect, as well as the obviously the mental aspect is huge when it comes to situations like this, and people who have amazing mentalities and strong mentalities do well in situations like this. We've seen it
Mhm.
in the past, with multiple world driver champion drivers like Max, Lewis, Seb, Vettel,
Alonso.
Alonso as well. I mean, this was probably his best race, and unfortunately, it just did not happen.
This time
And
it was
am I
not the driver.
surprised?
This
And
was
am I surprised? I'm not surprised. I don't think I'm surprised that Lando Norris didn't deliver. I mean, I think it's now like a normal trend at this
yeah.
point where he has the car underneath him, and it's
Mhm.
either his it's either his doing that causes the problems, or the team's doing.
Yeah,
It's never one person. At some point, it's probably the mix of both.
yeah.
And really, honestly, Lando, more than Lando, I would say McLaren dropped the ball. They really did. And it was really sad to see.
Like, yeah, again, as I was saying this earlier before the show, that maybe McLaren saw a page of Ferrari strategy rules, and they just basically just learned that for this particular race.
I mean, well, McLaren did do something
That
like that very
in
similar
in the
back in
past,
2007. I
exactly.
mean, it wasn't the strategy though. It was something even more interesting. Uh,
That they got disqualified from the championship.
exactly, they got disqualified, and then Kimi ended up winning the championship that year. And a lot of people are kind of comparing now that season with this season, where we have Max Verstappen, who is just come out of nowhere, honestly speaking. And
Brilliant,
both,
brilliant, 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 brilliant driving, to be very honest. In fact, if that DSQ wasn't there in Las Vegas, by now, actually, Lando Norris would have been a world champion.
yeah, I think so. I mean, I like I said, I haven't watched races, but it's crazy that got, they got disqualified there, and is so there, and it's come to this point.
Yeah, like literally, I've never expected. Like, it was never in my bingo cards where you see a double McLaren disqualification.
Yeah, yeah, never. I mean, it was really amusing for me to hear. When I read the words McLaren got disqualified, I instantly got 2007 flashbacks. I thought they just got disqualified from the whole season. I wish that happened, but it didn't. It was just the race. But yeah, I mean, what's even funnier is the fact that it was it really was not the drivers. I mean, this is just sad. I feel bad for both McLaren drivers here. And it's just the team really messed up. They really, really messed up. And I don't know how
Hmm.
I can, or McLaren fans, and I'm not a McLaren fan, I don't know how McLaren fans feel when something like this
We'll have
happens.
next episode, McLaren fans.
For
It's it,
sure.
it's either they going over the moon or it's just basically them crying. But we will have a live
Yeah.
one for sure.
No, I mean, it's if it's not obvious enough. I mean, I think let's address this, or at least I'm just going to address this. I I would be really, really disappointed if Lando doesn't win the championship. I would be so disappointed. Like, I would take this 2025 season, and, and I wouldn't forget it. I
Mhm.
wouldn't forget it. I would probably forget 2021, but I won't forget 2025. So I would place 2025 over this season, as
Mhm.
over any season, as the most, it's not even controversial, it's the most weirdest season. I don't know how to describe it, Arjun. How can a team fumble this hard? I mean, I've only known a red team that does this, and not any other team. I'm so shocked. I'm really shocked.
Well, you got you. They are orange, so it's a shade of red. So it can be
I mean,
it can be like going through the color genes. But you got
sure.
it. But literally, let's kind of calm this down. McLaren, Verstappen's hunt for the crown. At Netherlands, he was 104 points. When he came down to Italy, to Monza, it was 94. Azerbaijan was 69. Singapore was 63. Austin, Texas was 40. Mexico was 36. Brazil was 49. Las Vegas was 24. After Qatar, 12 points.
Oh
He
my
he
goodness.
was shedding, and he literally told, it's not because our car is brilliant. It's just because others are making mistake and we are capitalizing it really well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that is something that every team knows, and I'm pretty sure McLaren really, they've probably have nightmares of Max Verstappen every night. Um, and if it goes wrong for them in Abu Dhabi, I'm not going to say anything. If it goes wrong, then Max Verstappen owns McLaren. I mean, I'm sorry, but
You realize,
The Qatar investors probably need to go back out because Max Verstappen is the new owner of
no,
McLaren.
actually, Qatar doesn't own McLaren. It is Bahrain and Abu Dhabi.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, my
So,
bad. Bahrain. Yeah.
Qatar is basically gonna take a like a stake in the new Audi F1 team instead.
All right. Correct. Yeah.
So yeah, but keeping all of them aside, let's go to the analytical part now. So we are now going into a three-way fight all the way down to Abu Dhabi. Last time we had something like this was about 15 years ago, 2010. Fernando Alonso was then driving for Ferrari, and he was having a lead of 8 points over Red Bull's Mark Webber and 15 points over Sebastian Vettel. Fast forward to 2025, Mark Webber is what do you call advisor for Oscar Piastri. So I'm pretty sure he would be having some coaching happening from Mark Webber for sure in terms of
Mm.
how things would be going on. And
Hmm.
from a point standpoint, like Nathan, how we kind of go with that though?
Look, we know for a fact that Lando Norris has the advantage.
Yeah.
12 points is a lot. It's a lot. But then again, if you go back to that 2010 season, Alonso had 15 points over Sebastian Vettel, and
Mhm.
2010 was won by Sebastian Vettel. So it can be done. 15 points was nothing for Sebastian Vettel. I'm pretty sure 20 points for Max Verstappen is also nothing for him. But let's also factor other things. The other thing here, I don't want to call him thing here, but it's Oscar Piastri. Poor Oscar. He was leading the championship for, I mean, I think 75% of the season, I would say.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
from Baku onwards, it was that downfall.
Yeah. Serious, like really sad downfall. Really, really sad downfall. Um, but yeah, that's just the McLaren effect, I suppose. But look, I mean, if you look at it from the points perspective, how far is Oscar away from Lando Norris? He
From
is.
a point standpoint, we are looking at about say what? He's 392. Lando is
So that's
408.
16 points.
Yeah.
16 points. So,
So if a P1 and a P2, if he manages to get,
mm,
and if Lando doesn't get into points, Oscar
yeah.
wins. Fair and square.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
we've got a Max Verstappen. So unless it's like something that happened back in Austria, where both Lando and Max kind of collided, and then the fall guy takes the win,
Yeah.
naturally you manage to kind of get Oscar. But then we know who the fall guy is in Formula One.
Who is the fall guy, Arjun?
It's none other than George Russell.
Why is George Russell the fall guy? Explain.
No, so for I think a good amount of times we've explained this on this podcast. George Russell, when there is he keeps his car always third or fourth, and if there is that sort of what do you call that sort of collision or something, George Russell will not be involved in that. He'll play the game very safe. He'll build a gap and stuff and all this. And then once the situation happens, and then he slowly manages the pace and then wins the race. Say
Hmm.
in Las Vegas when both Lando and Oscar got disqualified, the fall team was Mercedes, to be very honest, because it got it promoted George Russell to P2 and Kimi Antonelli to P3. So they did it as a whole team, you know.
Mm. Hmm.
So yeah, you really not know how the season is going to go down the wire, to be very honest. But
Yeah.
from a team standpoint, we can officially say that the fight is definitely not that much between the teams per se, because you got McLaren right now at 800 points, Mercedes at 459, Red Bull at 426, Ferrari at 382, Williams at 137, Racing Bulls 92, Aston Martin 80, Haas F1 73, Kick Sauber 68, and Alpine 22. So as far as Williams is concerned, they've sealed the championship.
Yeah, and what
Three
a
times.
race, by the way. What a
Like,
race from
like,
science.
yeah, like that's also another thing which I have never expected in a bingo card. Three times he got that Williams car onto the podium. Three times.
I remember Arjun when we were talking, I think we did the episode in Silverstone.
Yeah,
And I think the one thing that was really disappointing about that whole first half of the season was Carlos Sainz's performance. It really was shocking. I
yeah,
mean, it
yeah.
wasn't shocking. I mean, it was just really disappointing because he was doing really well at Ferrari, and then he goes to Williams. He gets outperformed by Alex, and it really was a difficult time for him. But look at him
Absolutely.
now. He was, I think, probably 16th in the standings,
Now
like
he's
around in
ninth.
Silverstone. He's right behind Alex Albon.
Like the
That
gap is
is
nine
insane.
points.
Exactly.
9 points between Alexander Albon and Carlos Sainz, and I'm so astonished. Like
I am.
like
Yeah.
you can clearly see that teamwork going on over there. Like the first half of the season, Alex did a fabulous job, got that car placed wherever he could, but not the podiums, but at least in that top 10 he managed to kind of be there. Carlos just raced it even further and got himself another three podiums, and literally you see like there are memes going on being like, this guy left Ferrari, and Ferrari since hasn't gone to podium properly consistently.
Yeah, I am laughing with with the tears with the tears.
No, but that's like a bit of a consolation over here is that at least they won one sprint race, which itself is like at this rate I count that as a win.
I mean, I don't want to even count that. That's just, I mean, okay, I guess like we gotta count something, right? But look, let's not talk about Ferrari here. Let's talk about Williams, right? Look, this is the kind of performance that we I think we kind of expected Carlos to do something like this before he joined Williams.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
obviously, that's the level that we place Carlos over Alex. And look at Carlos now. He's really perform. I don't know if he's outperforming or if he's actually performing according to the standards of the Williams. But to get podiums with a car that's placed fifth in the constructors is
Brilliant.
insane, considering that you have a McLaren, a Red Bull, a Mercedes, and an occasional Ferrari, I suppose, fighting for podiums. I mean, it's really a big feat for Williams. Uh,
Absolutely, abs 100%. Like you realize this, a team that was again in James Walsh's terms, he basically revamped that team, and I'm pretty sure every team would be actually wishing they had someone like James Walsh there.
yeah,
And
yeah,
Williams is not owned is basically owned by a venture capital firm called Dalton Ventures. They gave him free reins, and he was like, "Give me, I need time. Give me that time. I'm gonna work this thing out, and then by the next regulation, we'll have everything set." And he's doing it. Like the literal example or the literal translation of that is coming from the results.
mm,
Like people who have watched Formula One in the 90s or early 2000s, Williams was that big name. And
mm,
now, if you look at it, if you look even from a driver's standpoint, you see the McLaren, you see the Red Bulls, you see the Mercedes, you see the Ferrari. Right after that, it's not your what do you call Sauber, it's not your Haas, it's not your what do you call Alpine or Renault, whatever
RB,
you call that. Not your Toro Rosso or Racing Bulls. It's Williams that's standing there,
yeah.
and that is a big, 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 big achievement. To be very honest.
I think we should definitely highlight this more in the finale episode, because that in itself would really do justice to what James Vowles has done with Williams and the whole team for that matter.
No,
Fact.
to be very honest, if I ever get that chance to basically talk to James Wells, and like if I now really wish I could basically do an interview with James Wells and kind of know what was inside his head. And also one more thing. If you look right now, the kind of team principles now we have got, they are engineers.
Yeah,
If you look at
they
it,
are. Yeah.
Lauren Mackey's is an engineer.
Hmm.
If you look at, I don't know, Jonathan Wheatley is not an engineer, right?
Well, no, he's more of a racing uh,
Racing director sort of a guy, right?
sporting
Yeah.
director sort of
You
person.
got Adrian Newey right now, next year onwards, being Aston Martin's team principal, which again, to be very honest, I was like, whoa.
Andy Cowell, for that matter, was also an HPP engineer. He was part of the he
Hmm.
was part of the engine engineering team for Mercedes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he's technically an engineer. A lot of these team principals are engineers. The
Even,
only
hmm.
one engineer who failed as a team principal is now sitting well in the Audi slash Kick Sauber team as the
Chief Technical
technical
Officer, CTO,
chief
yeah.
technical officer, Mr. Binotto. Mr. Binotto. I mean, if he had done something for Ferrari, then he would also be
he
part of the list. But unfortunately, he's not,
he was sacked quick enough though.
which was a good thing. Let's be honest, which was a good thing. But anyway, we always end up talking about Ferrari, right? How do we do this? How do we?
This is always the thing. But even if you look, if you're looking down, also say with yesterday's race, I think when you look from who are like the winners and losers and sort of a thing, if you look at that, say I'm pretty sure Max Verstappen stands on that, but I got to give it Red Bull, Hannah Schmitz, like
Yeah.
hands down. The time you basically call in for pits, the entire what do you call grid followed Max Verstappen. He maintained, so it's just like no one overtook him because the entire grid just came in. And even though a couple of teams, including Ferrari, managed to mess up their pit stops, Mercedes, everyone's there. It's not this one, so like double pit stops kind of came in. But
Mm.
just doing that one move and literally everyone coming in, it was just like again, it was like it was so choreographed.
Mm.
Like this is like calling Max into pits. Everyone, oh, let's call everyone for pits. That you could basically see during the race how everyone just started following each other and just going in rather than just minding their own businesses.
Yeah. But like I also do want to I just do want to shed light on this fact that I mean, I feel like it is probably easier to make and to probably go ahead with the decision if you are behind the leader. It was probably it was probably an even more difficult call if Max was the leader of the race and then he decided to pit, because you really wouldn't know what the other drivers behind would do, right? But then again, to take that call and to stick with it, even with the limitations of the rules stating
Mhm.
that the tires can only be used for 25 laps or so, it they made it work. They made it work, and McLaren couldn't believe it. Like, it was insane how McLaren thought that Red Bull messed up. Like, how does a team of that stature, a team that has 800 points, by the way, in the constructors,
Basically, world champions.
they are world champions. They are world champions. They were world champions last year. They were world champions this year. How can they fumble something like this? I mean, it seriously is astonishing. I really have no words. I don't have words because if this team was red, I would be depressed. It fortunately is not red. It's an orange team, so I'm okay. I'm not that. It's not that bad, right? But seriously, McLaren fans, I feel for you. You guys, um, your team messed up.
Yeah. And I just want to just go back to Williams. So it was the first time since 2015 Williams is having a season with multiple podiums.
Oh my goodness!
Mm,
The last time Williams
2015,
had multiple podiums was probably with Valtteri and Massa, right?
yeah, Felipe
Yeah.
Massa, they scored 4 podiums
Eh, Unbelievable.
and they
It
finished the
took.
championship third.
Yeah, no, that was. See, look, come on, Arjun. That lineup of Felipe Massa and Valtteri Bottas, I mean, come on. You have a young Valtteri Bottas as well. So imagine that as a lineup. I mean, it's insane. And you see like how it went from Felipe Massa and Valtteri Bottas to Sergei Sirotkin and Lance Stroll, then Nicholas Latifi, Robert Kubica. You could really see the downfall of
Yeah,
Williams,
yeah.
you know. But then now you have two well-established drivers in Carlos Sainz and Alex Albon, hopefully leading the team now for multiple years. I hope that Williams keep this driver lineup and they don't lose one of them because it's very hard to replace either of them, to be honest.
Yeah, like see, you had Pat Simmons basically designing the car, Ed Wood also designing the car. He's the chief designer, Pat Simmons was the chief technical officer. Both of them top of their base of their what do you call careers, built like an insane car. And especially that was, I think this was the time where the team principal was Frank Williams' daughter.
Claire Williams. Yeah.
Was that a thing? I think so. I'm not sure.
Back in 2014, yeah, it was Claire Williams, I think.
Yeah, because it's again, and that too also. I like how with all these races, there's always a Mercedes engine behind it.
Okay, Arjun. Just stop using your Mercedes engines. Let's just talk about who won this race. A Red Bull powertrain engine, okay?
Bro. It's not a completely Red Bull powertrain engine. It's a Honda engine.
Oh, okay, like it makes a difference. At least it's not Mercedes powered.
No, but I really gotta say, I really love the 2014 the FW37 livery, the Martini livery.
Oh yeah. Oh
That was, and like, not a lot of cars could come that even close to that iconic livery.
I really miss white liveries now. I mean, Haas is doing it, but there are some
Carbon fiber
really.
is still coming up, to be very honest. But
That's
there is
true.
actually a rule. There's actually a rule that FIA is now brought in, which is now going to ban teams from basically showing off exposed carbon. So they need to
Okay.
they need to basically paint the car.
Okay.
No
It's
more
come to
black
that
cars.
point. It's come to that point.
It's
I think I really
and
think Ferrari is. I'm not even kidding. I'm pretty sure Ferrari's one of their plans, like Plan Z, was to paint their car black and yellow, and
no, but to be
release
very
the.
honest, that would be cool.
That would be cool, but now they can't do it, unfortunately.
No, so say it's just that if they are having that black, it's just that it needs to have stickers on. So it shouldn't be
Yeah,
basically like how Mercedes came up with black color cars just so that they can save weight. They cannot do that.
yeah, yeah.
Like
Which is actually a good thing. I really like that move.
like
I really do.
okay. Oops. Oh, that car is went up top. Lol. Wait. Oh, like I don't mind this particular car. Again, it's got enough
Hmm.
amount of black, and it's basically got the Mercedes bits in. Like some exposed carbon, but it's okay-ish. And for Mercedes, like it's, I think like since Lewis Hamilton was supporting Black Lives Matter, they did a pretty good job with what do you call it, with a black colored car. But then put in a good amount of stickering just so that like okay, you're supporting, but at the same time you're not like going all out and being oh it's so light.
Yeah, no, but I really do like that. I really do like that initiative. I like this one thing probably that FIA has
Finally did it.
finally done something good. I mean, I wouldn't want to talk about the other decisions that FIA has taken because this has just been disappointing. But okay, you know what? Good job, good job, FIA. Let's give it to them.
Like let's give it a let's give it a you know when you're looking down the overall grid, what happened with Kimi Antonelli? Poor guy, oversteered, and Lando went in. The very nice Austrian granddad from Red Bull managed to pull off a really amazing statement, and this guy got cyber attacked.
Which is, by the way, it's just disappointing. Like seriously, I I can't believe, and I'm pretty sure if Mihir was here, the one of the biggest supporters of of Mercedes and Kimi Antonelli, I'm pretty sure he would have something to say as well. But I'm so sure that a lot of people would just find this unacceptable. Like this is unacceptable. I mean, bullying anyone for that matter is unacceptable, and even more so bullying a teenager just for some legit a mistake. This was a mistake. I mean, it really was an oversteering moment. I mean, it was nothing. There's nothing more deep. Other there is nothing else. You can't really gather information and conclude that Antonelli, did this on purpose. It's such a, it's
I
such
know.
a, it's
You know,
honestly annoying.
we had a time where all these issues kind of came up, and Formula One became a more inclusive sport.
Mhm.
You know, things like this it's not right.
Nope. Nope, it's not.
Like realize what this guy said was like, and I'm just going to say what he said based on an article that I saw, and um he ended up saying, quote unquote, uh it was obvious in that race he did it twice where he more or less weaved Lando by, so it's obvious now. And Antonelli now helps our main competitor in Austria. He was crashing Verstappen in the rear. So like bro, like come on,
You know,
it's his very first season. Didn't Verstappen mess up a lot of people's races
obviously. I
in
mean,
his?
it really is disappointing. I mean, I mean, if it wasn't, I don't even know if anything surprises me anymore, Arjun. I'm a depressed Ferrari fan, but seriously, Marco's comments, um, for these kind of things, it doesn't surprise me, but it just seriously, disappoints me.
No, to
Like
be very
it's,
honest, I feel like there is a red line for everything.
of course.
This is crossed it, and again, I personally don't think this should just stop in an apology. It should go even further.
Yeah, it's been high time. I mean, he's been running his mouth for such a long time, and I'm surprised nothing has been done about it.
Oh no, no. Yesterday, like the one of the races, he said, "Oh, he did a pretty good race with that shitty car." I was like, "Ha, ha, seriously, bro? Tell it right now."
I think he's trying to like weigh his good and bad opinions together and trying to come out as a sort of unbiased person. But no, there's no way he's unbiased. I mean, the statements that he is released or even talked about this year, let's like the first thing that comes to my mind is the first comment about Hajar after Australia, and that was unbelievable. And the way Hajar really took that and just had an amazing first half of the season, props to Hajar. Honestly, props to him.
Hajar did a brilliant season, brilliant job. But
Yeah.
just coming down to Antonelli. So based on what Mercedes said, Antonelli's account alone got 1,100 severe or suspect comments, which also includes chilling death threats,
Oh my
and
goodness.
Mercedes' own social profile has got about 330 similar abusive comments. And in the light of this alarming trend, Mercedes has decided to present these findings to FIA, which is actively combating online harassment through its United Against Online Abuse initiative.
Hmm.
And Toto Wolff himself said, "It's like this guy sees what he sees is utter nonsense. His words, total utter nonsense."
Yeah. And for once, I agree with Toto. There are obviously a lot of things I agree with Toto with, but I do. When it comes to matters like this, I mean, it really is. There is no tolerance, zero tolerance for
See,
these kind of
people
things.
doing it from outside, yes, there is. Again, we are living in a free world. People have their own opinions, but this cannot happen where this is like basically you're basically lighting the fire and fuel is thrown to it.
Yeah,
Like it reached a point where Kimi Antonelli actually all his all his social profiles, his profile picture is now black. It's just like a plain black image.
yeah, yeah.
Like honestly, come on, guys, we can be a bit better.
We can.
We can be better. It's not that we can't be better. We can be. Formula One has seen even worse. Say with Lewis Hamilton having racism being coming on, and then the entire sport altogether brought in the initiative, United Against Online Abuse. Like let's not do this to this kid. Come on. Like I know during Verstappen, social media wasn't that hype of a thing, but you would with these same people would have done the same thing to Verstappen though. No,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it really is disappointing. It
no,
is very disappointing.
and it's not even like no team principal or racing director would go with such brainless comments about another driver.
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
brainless, please. I'm going to use the word brainless.
Yeah.
This race alone was a bit brainless altogether, with
Yeah,
with
it
with with
was.
with altogether how things have gone. Now, on top of all these, this brainless guy manages to kind of pull off the most insane trick out of the book, and now he has publicly apologized. Not him, basically Red Bull publicly apologized on his behalf, and the apology was a bit of an interesting one though. So
Yeah.
in the apology wise, it's now said, I've looked at the footage again very carefully. It was a driving error and not intentional. I'm sorry that Antonelli got so much hate online. It makes it perfectly clear he didn't let Norris pass intentionally. Again, he's done his thing. Leave it now. I feel like it's like a lost cost. Lost
Yeah, it,
cause.
it pretty much is. Yeah, it pretty much is.
Anyways, back to all things happening. I need to also commend Fernando Alonso. Fernando
Uh-huh.
was at his brilliant best in Qatar, first securing Aston Martin's best grid slot in any format this year with the P4 in sprint qualifying and getting that last 2 points in the sprint. And on Sunday, he basically scored his first points for Aston Martin in Qatar. If
First points for Aston Martin
in Qatar.
in
So
Qatar.
yeah.
Wait,
Wait.
but he,
Let's see the results. Sorry, Fernando Alonso finished seventh.
yeah, which is a pretty good pretty good finish from him. I mean, where I don't know where Aston Martin are even on the grid. I mean, let's be honest, that those four teams or four five teams. Actually, I'm not even going to count Alpine. Those four teams, those four teams in the bottom, RB, Haas, Aston Martin, and I'm missing someone. Sauber.
Saber.
Yeah. those four teams are just so competitive. You really have no idea. That's like the one amazing thing about the season is that the lower half of the grid is so unpredictable. You have no idea who's going to finish in, the last few positions in the points paying positions. Like it's so you can't even predict, because in one race RB does a really good job, Liam Lawson and Hadjar do a really good job. There
Hmm.
were so many races that Bortoletto finished in the points, so many races that Ocon, he loves finishing P10, and Haas is such a
Plus
underrated
P4, he
team.
like Ollie Behrman did P4 in Brazil.
Yeah, exactly. What a result. I
No,
mean, I missed the race, but I can't believe that.
no, like you okay, let's kind of go a bit on the numbers. So Racing Bulls now has 92 points, followed by Aston Martin with 80 points. That is basically a gap of 12 points. Haas is 73 points. So they are just 7 points away between Aston and Haas. And Kick
Yeah.
Sauber is 68 points, which is about 5 points.
Yeah.
So one race can basically shoot this up or down.
Exactly. And let's talk about the fact that this is kind of deciding position 7, 8 and 9 in the constructors, by the way.
Yeah.
7, 8 and 9 has a big financial, there
Gain.
is a big financial gain between position 7 and 9. So a team that's in ninth right now is Kick Sauber, um, eighth is Haas, and seventh is Aston Martin.
Yeah.
A team like Racing Bulls, if I'm not mistaken, Arjun, weren't they last year?
No, it was not Racing Bulls. It was Kick Sauber.
Okay, so where did Racing Bulls finish last season? Because I know for a fact it wasn't sixth.
So Racing Bulls finished in eighth.
Eighth,
Yeah.
exactly. So, going from eighth to sixth is a big deal. Aston Martin are seventh this season. Last season,
They were fifth.
they were fifth, which is just I mean, this is what I'm saying.
You're telling this. Alpine was sixth in the championship last year.
Let's
They're
not
now
talk about
10th.
Alpine. Let's not talk about Alpine.
But
They have their own problems.
but the underdog we were speaking about, Williams, was ninth in the championship. Now
Exactly.
is fifth in the championship. More money
How
going to the team and
amazing.
groove.
How amazing is the, the bottom half of, the F1 grid.
Yeah.
If only the top half could emulate that.
Yeah,
If
the top
only.
half. See, I think with McLaren you couldn't do much.
Of
But
course, yeah.
Ferrari, I think until Las Vegas, Ferrari, Red Bull, Mercedes, they were having this thing. They are sort of going up and down, up and down. And for
It was more
Ferrari,
Ferrari going down than
no, Ferrari did go up though. In between, Ferrari did go up. But then I think after Rio de Janeiro, when the double DNF happened, then it was a mess.
Mm, yeah.
Because then Mercedes got up, later on Red Bull got up, and Ferrari was just stagnant there.
Arjun just introduced a new race in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro. Arjun, the race was in Sao Paulo.
Sorry.
Yes. I was like, wait, when did we have a second Brazil race? When did this happen?
So sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Arjun is leaking Ferrari Formula One's future plans of racing in Rio de Janeiro. What do you know, Arjun, that we don't?
I would call it a slip of tongue because I haven't done this in a while.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, that was a pretty good one.
Insane. But like, yeah. Um. Anyways, we are coming down to the last race of the season, Abu Dhabi, our home ground. Basically, we are kind of coming down there, and a pretty interesting racetrack, according to Kimi Raikkonen. I don't want to use that word because again, it is basically I live in the same country.
Wait, why are we taking Kimi Raikkonen as his word? Do you ever trust Kimi and his comments? I mean, like, let's be honest. Whenever he comes to the in front of the microphone or he talks to the press, he really doesn't care. He really wouldn't care. And
No,
I don't think
this one
any information
basically.
from him is credible.
I think this is when he did. He went on an episode of Top Gear, and he ended up saying, "Oh, the first couple of corners are fine. After that, it's shit." And then they were like,
Well, I think it's pretty much the same, isn't it? I don't think it's changed.
"No." As in, over the years, Abu Dhabi has had a bit of improvements here and there, but
Hmm.
like, yeah, it is. It still has got those long straights, which does some justice, especially
Which does something. It does something.
which does something. I'm not saying everything, which does something.
Yeah.
And I really hope, again, some of them are just saying that FI is just trying to manufacture the race once again.
Yeah, I mean, I
And
wouldn't be surprised at those
and
comments.
I'm like, okay, I hope these guys don't bring Michael Massey back again.
It really would be insane. Like, how they have WWE entrances and then like, when the race happens, like, after the national anthem, they suddenly play some, music and then Michael Massey just walks out there in front of all the drivers wearing his FIA t-shirt and he just goes to the FIA booth and he just starts making his decisions. Arjun, I don't want to say this, but the last time a championship was decided in Abu Dhabi, we had something very controversial.
We had something so controversial that the guy who was the reason behind the controversy, never even made it back to the grid, to the track. He's now got his MBA and he's enjoying his life.
He is, he really is, and I'm pretty happy for him.
At least he's not
Go
coming
Tiffy.
back and just messing up the any cars, as a matter of fact. As in, Williams have had a lot of drivers that have given them big crash bills. If you look at like the Destructors Championship, Williams drivers were on top.
Yeah.
If you look, say, Nicholas Latifi, who is this guy, Logan Sargent, Franco Colapinto. Franco, even though only came for half the season, he did end up coming up with some insane damage repair charges.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Well, it is what it is, and I think now it's time for us to wrap up this interesting episode. And next episode, which is Abu Dhabi, we again, unfortunately, we this year couldn't get tickets, thanks to we not doing enough work. We are working so much. Trust me, we work our asses off. It's just that we didn't end up getting those episodes. So, like, yeah, at least Yas Marina Circuit, guys, if you're ever listening to this podcast, grant us some tickets next year. It is like like me, myself, and Nathan would really we would basically. I don't know if Nathan would take some here time off, but I will definitely take time off and
Oh,
travel.
dude, if there was an opportunity, I am definitely taking time off. What do you mean? Oh, if Nathan doesn't, I don't know what Nathan's going to do. What do you mean?
No, bro is again. He just started working, so like, yeah. Uh,
That's
he
true.
he just started his professional life. I've been like doing this for like 3-4 years now, so it is what it is. So I can basically take time offs. That's why I was like, okay, what
Yeah.
if? But like, yeah, Abu Dhabi, Yas Marina circuit, guys, if you're ever listening, please, once again, requesting, repeating once again, doing whatever I can do. Give us something. Give us at least just two tickets, not more than that. Myself and just him. I mean, we'll pay for all the transport from Dubai to Abu Dhabi. Not a problem. We'll do that. That's just a
Ah,
ticket. Some
the
paddock
normal.
passes. Some paddock passes should do it.
Ah,
Or even any team, please. We don't mind. We'll if you're saying, oh, we are coming to your booth, we'll support you like anything. Like last year, thanks to Gulf Oil, we basically met Franco Colapinto,
yeah.
and we were supporting Williams so much that this year they finished P5 because they raced and plus our support.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
Exactly.
you may not know, next year you can be champions.
We can be champions. Yeah.
We can be champions. So like, yeah, please do let us know. Happy to kind of step in any time. But like, yeah, until next time, this is the entire crew, myself and Nathan, signing off from Formula Pod, and we'll see you after the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Goodbye and good night.